So, whether I get backlash or not, I'm going to say it how it is. Can Paul George help the Cavaliers beat the Warriors? And believe it or not, I'm going to save that response for later. I'm going to answer this question like this. The Cavaliers were more than equipped to beat the Warriors without Paul George. They should have been able to beat the Warriors without Paul George. However, what happened? There were multiple choke jobs. Tristan Thompson choked the first couple of games. Deron Williams should just simply retire. I'm not even going to get into him. And then we get into Kyle Korver. The man couldn't hit a single basket. He hit a couple, but didn't hit them when they counted. Had he hit them when they counted, they would have probably won a couple of extra games. So the Cavaliers don't have a player problem. They have a more or less of a choke job problem. So more so than talent, I believe what the Cavaliers are looking for is talent that won't choke. And Paul George is talent that won't choke. So by all means, what does it matter how good you are if you can't perform when it matters most? Now, would you rather have an NBA player that's great but can't perform in the finals, or an NBA player that's good that can perform in the finals? I hope your answer would be good and that can perform in the finals. Because Kyle Korver was a great three-point shooter. And what happened? He couldn't perform. Deron Williams was once considered a great playmaker. What happened? The man couldn't perform. And he was a decent three-point shooter. And still, the man couldn't perform. It was choke job after choke job after choke job. And you know what's funny? J.R. Smith was never considered to be great. But guess what? That man showed up in the finals. So that's a perfect example of a guy that used to be good, but he's great in the finals, compared to guys that were great in their aspects, but didn't do good in the finals. So you have to consider all these things. Now, why is it that LeBron James really wants a player like Carmelo Anthony in his team? A lot of people say he's a cancer. But you know what? I'm pretty sure that if you get Carmelo Anthony, a player that people consider now to be good, he would be great in the finals because he won't choke. So what the Cavaliers are probably doing is looking for players that aren't going to choke. Paul George won't choke. Carmelo Anthony won't choke. A lot of guys out there won't choke, and you need to get guys that won't choke. Now, had the Cavaliers not choked, a lot of their players, because not all of them choked, but had a lot of them not choked, I believe that team would have been equipped to beat the Warriors. Had Kyle Korver hit all his shots, he would have been equipped. And let's give Kyle Korver the benefit of the doubt. Had Kyle Korver hit the same amount of shots that he does during the regular season, not all of it, because it's impossible to hit everything. But if Kyle Korver hit most of his shots, the ones that he usually hits, that series would have been over a long time ago. But no, they choked. So that's my response to that. Can Paul George actually make the Cavaliers beat the Warriors? Oh yeah, I really do believe Paul George can help them beat the Warriors. But the Cavaliers should have beaten the Warriors without Paul George. But guess what? Players decide not to show up, and you have a bunch of choke jobs, and there's only so much LeBron James can do. Thank you for watching JPTV.